Hey, B, it's JamiThatsMe here. Listen, we're about to go ahead and get into another episode of Court is Messy. Okay, make sure you're coming into the video, liking up the video. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, especially if you find yourself over here a few times this week or even a few times today and you have yet to subscribe. It's obvious that you're enjoying the content, so please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, let's go ahead and get into our episode.
All right, if you can have your client come up, please. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 11517, State of Texas versus Darrell Keith Peavy. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Paul J. Smith, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Mr. Peavy?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Is there any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And for the record, the defendant and the defense attorney are in the courtroom. This is one of the days where the court is allowed to have in-person hearings. The defendant entered a plea on February 8, 2021 to count one. The defendant entered a plea of no contest. The state waived counts 2 and 3, and that was waived without objection. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court deferred finding of guilt because you have applied for deferred adjudication. And for the record, the defendant entered his plea by video at that time and signed a waiver to appear by video. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 8 years. They are opposing your application for deferred adjudication. And also there's a no contact order with Ronald King, Regina King, Tyra Brown Howell, and Denise Connor. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
We have, Your Honor.
Are there any objections to the PSI report from the state?
None from the state.
From the defense?
The only objection we have is not really objection. In the responsibility section, we say Mr. Peavy immediately accepted responsibility and proceeded to enter a plea and knew that he had done wrong.
All right. State, you can proceed first as you, because you're opposed to their application. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. We have 2 witnesses. I'll call Ronald King first. He's under Ron King.
Mr. King, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Ronald King, K-I-N-G.
All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. King, so the court is familiar with the case. She's had a chance to read the police report.
Okay.
But the reports don't necessarily give all the details, especially from your experience. So can you tell the judge about the events that happened that night?
So it was August 15th. It was the first time me and my siblings had a chance to get together since the death of our mother. She passed away at the end of 2018. So we all gathered in San Antonio to do two things: celebrate family, and I was turning 60 in a couple of weeks. So we went to the VFW. My sister, who lives in San Antonio, had arranged for a surprise party. So it was a fun night, right? We hung out a little bit, did a little bit of karaoke, and then somewhere around 1 o'clock, we started heading home. So I'm not familiar with Texas. I've been there only one other time, and my sister had been driving us around the entire time we were there. But when we left there, something told me, sometimes you hear that still small voice, and something told me, take the keys. So I told my sister, I'll drive. She's like, no, I'm driving. I said, nope, I'm driving. So we get in the car, we're driving, we're talking, everybody's in a good mood. And I look up and I notice there's a car who's tailing me for a while. I don't say anything to anybody in the car, I keep driving. This goes on for a little while. Then I said, I need to let everybody know what's happening. So I said, hey, there's a guy following me. I don't know why he's on top of me. There were 4 lanes on the highway. I was in the second lane from the right. So there was a free lane on either side of me. So not knowing what this dude was doing, I decided to move over to my left. I moved over, he moved over. He's right on top of me. He's so close, I can't even see his headlights anymore. So after a while, I said, let me put some distance between us. So I sped up. He sped up. Oh. Then I decided, let me floor this and put as much distance. I did about 80 miles an hour, took off, put some distance between us, figured this nut would calm down now. So I resumed normal speed because I didn't want to get stopped for a speeding ticket. And then I look up, here he comes barreling after me. And we go on this chase that's about 100 miles an hour. Ooh. Now, I know I smell death in this car. There's no way we're going to survive this. So I told everyone in the car, I said, I got to decide what to do. I can't take a hit at 100 miles an hour. That would be deadly. So I told him I'm going to slow the car down. We're going to take a hit. So everybody brace yourself. We're going to take the hit,
Wow.
and then maybe this would jog this idiot's into some sense of reality, and we'd be good. We took a hit. He must have been going a good 80 miles an hour, slammed into the back of us, changed the whole mood in the car.
Wow.
So he hit, and I took off. And I thought that was it. He's got to come to some semblance of normalcy here. So I take off, and he takes off after me, and we go on this chase. My sister's in the front seat. She's screaming because she's seeing. We're going about 100 miles an hour. I see a tractor trailer up ahead, and I said, I don't know whether to go close to the tractor trailer and figure there's now a witness to what's going on. The downside to that is if I end up in a spin out or a rollover, we could get trapped under the tractor trailer.
Jesus, this
So I
is too
decided that's
much.
not a good option. So we're still on this race, and I said, I got to get off this highway. But I'm going so fast, I'm unfamiliar with the road. My sister is sitting in the seat next to me, and she's flagging the exits as they're coming up. And I was like, you got to give me advance warning. I'm hyper-focused on keeping this car straight. Because if I, one wrong, if I hit something on the road or one wrong move, I could destroy this entire car.
And the people
I don't even have the sense to pray that we get out of this. That says the average drunk driver has driven drunk 80 times before their first arrest. So I know that there's a belief that, this is the first offense. This is the first time he may have gotten caught. But the way he handled himself that day proves that he's done this before. Chances are he's done this before. I don't buy that theory that, even a defense of PTSD. That's not a get out of jail free card. That would be akin to me saying, because of this trauma that I've dealt with, I keep that in my back pocket. And anytime I need to use that as an excuse, go boom, I had PTSD. That's my get out of jail free card. That's offensive. To anybody who served in the military and is dealing with PTSD, that's offensive.
Thank you, Mr. King. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. King, I don't know if you can hear me or
I
see.
can hear you.
Did you say you were in the service too? And
I did not say that. No, I was not in the service. My two sisters were in the service.
all right. And do you have anyone in your family that suffers from dual diagnosis?
From what?
Dual diagnosis,
I don't know what that is.
mental impairment that requires medication to treat a condition?
No.
And have you ever been around people that require medication
Yes.
and they have been off their medication?
Yes.
And you would agree, would you not, that the reaction is not normal?
Yes.
Mr. Peavy will be
But I don't know by the way, I don't know anyone who's been off their medication and goes out drinking at night.
That's what I'm finding. I'm just sitting over here like being a defense attorney or whatever has got to be hard as hell. How people commit crimes and y'all have to try to sit up there and normalize them. Like, what the hell? You trying to gain some sympathy out the fact that this person has to take a medication for whatever illness and shit. And, when they're off their medication, then, sometimes they can be a little off or whatever. I'm so glad that man added and said, I don't know nobody that's finna take no damn medication and go drinking. Okay, and what the hell that got to do with him riding on my ass like this? Okay, and honestly, what I wish they would have done, and I understand, you don't know what you're going to do unless you're in that situation. On the outside looking in, I'm like, dang, I wish they would have been thinking to call 911. Have one person on the phone with 911, letting them know what's happening. And then number two, having somebody else. But you in kind of like a flight or flight mode. So sometimes you ain't thinking about all of that. And he did the best thing that he could in that moment. But also to finish my thought is, having somebody else getting directions to the closest police station. Since you want to hightail it behind me. And it seems like the guy, as long as they were going a cool speed, he was going a cool speed. So I would have guided his ass right on over there to that police station. They would have been outside waiting on his ass because we're already on the phone with 911 because nigga, you tripping. Okay. But yeah, I hate that, that's scary, especially to be in the area that you don't know shit about for real. Good.
Mr. Peavy will be addressing you later. Now, in the almost 2 years, I believe it has been, or year and a half, has Mr. Peavy attempted to contact you?
No, I don't have any fear of him contacting me.
Do you know if he's attempted to contact your sisters?
How can he try
I do
to
not know whether he has or not.
Has Mr. Peavy's insurance company been available to take care of the damage you have suffered?
You would have to speak with the attorneys on that.
Okay. And thank goodness we're all alive today. Would you describe yourself as a person who is a forgiving person a person who demands an ounce of blood or a pound of flesh, or a person that can understand circumstances.
I am definitely not a vindictive person. Let me, if that night ended after that first hit once, he came to his senses, and that was it, I would be standing here today saying, you know what, let's go easy. He came to his senses, but he didn't stop after the first hit. He didn't stop after the second hit. He didn't stop after the third hit. He didn't stop after the fourth hit. He didn't stop after the fifth hit. He didn't stop after the sixth hit. He didn't stop after the seventh hit. He didn't stop after the eighth hit.
Ooh.
So I'm forgiving, but there's a certain amount of accountability that he should be held to.
I know that's right.
Next
He
witness will
needs
be Tyra Brown Howell.
attorneys up.
Okay, I think, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment, please. How are you listed on the screen?
Tyra Brown Howell.
All right,
I don't
see
like
you.
the Zoom they got going on.
Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, if you can lower your hand and state your name for the record, and if you could spell your
Don't be like
first
that
and
the whole
last name,
time.
please.
My name is Tyra Brown Howell, TYRABROWN hyphen HOWELL. Forgive me for the background noise. I'm at work.
No problem. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Brown Howell, you've heard the testimony that Mr. King just gave, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want to go all of that again, but can you tell the court about, I guess, your personal experience when that was all going on?
Well, when Mr. King said, okay, somebody should be calling the cops, I could actually talk to the cops because Ruby was sitting next to me praying. Ruby is a minister. She was praying. That's how I could talk to them. To this day, first of all, I had to take 2 months off work because I was in pain.
Oh.
Mr. Peavy, you tried to take me from my responsibilities. I am an only child. I have a 15-year-old that I take care of all by myself with no child support. I have a mother who is legally blind with dementia that I take care of. I have 2 sons that I still help out every day. You have me on psych meds that I have never, ever been on before in my life. And please excuse me if I don't care about your PTSD, because guess what? Regina and I have it too. And we take our medications. And you know just as well as we do that they tell you when you get in there, you cannot drink with your PTSD medication and to take it every day. And not only that, I have a bad heart. So when an EMS came, guess what? My heart rate was 148. I had to go home and retake medication twice so that I could slow my heart down. So I'm there for my responsibilities. So your excuse of PTSD, and yes, I was in the military and I was in for 18 years and I still work for the government in the VA. I went out and bought guns that I don't even believe in.
Ms. Brown Howell, give me a second. So a couple things. The court reporter has to take down everything that you're saying. and
I'm
so we
hollering.
sorry.
I'm
And then,
hollering. She weighing them out.
After sentencing, you'll have a chance to speak to Mr. Peavy directly. Right now, in the court, just letting her know basically your experience.
Sir, I don't sleep at night at all. I sleep 2 or 3 hours now. I walk around. My gun is right there, both. My shotgun and my 380.
Mm.
You messed up 4 lives. All of us have young children. 2 of us are single, and our children depend on us. I don't function well. My heart medicine has been increased. My psych meds have been increased, and they don't work. Because I try. I take them every day. But I have a hard time. I'm really having a hard time. That night changed my life.
So sorry.
I can't even keep a decent relationship now.
Is there anything else that you'd like the court to know, ma'am?
I go to work every day. I'm in pain. I go to bed every night. I'm in pain. I walk around with a TENS unit on, so when the pain gets so bad, I can turn it on and numb it enough. I have special parking now because I can't walk across the street from the parking garage without my leg going out. And I don't want to fall in the middle of the street. So I have to park on campus. And Ron didn't say to y'all, it was over 30 miles that he chased us. And we had gotten up to 120 speed-wise. There was, at one point in time, there was a brown Tundra in front of us at the intersection where you get from 410 to I-10. There was nowhere for us to go. That was the second time that you hit us the hardest. You tried to push us off that overpass.
Ooh.
The next one was when that 18-wheeler, AGB 18-wheeler with the blueberries on the side. That's when we got hit even harder. Knocked my glasses off my face. My head hit the front of the seat. My glasses were behind me. I didn't even realize they were gone until I tried to read the sign. I haven't been on that part of the highway since. It took me a year before I could even get on the highway. My daughter has saved a lot of people because my anger has been through the roof. And if it wasn't for my 15-year-old and she says she wants to be a doctor and I want to see my baby walk across the stage with my own swag, not from behind a jail cell. Ooh, oh my God. I bought guns because I was scared this man's coming to my house. There's nobody there but me, my mother, and my child. My son moved from South Carolina to try to help me work through this. He left his child, his job, his house, and everything to come help his mama out.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize.
It's okay, ma'am. I'm gonna pass you so that Mr. Smith can ask you questions.
Mr. Smith?
Okay.
Main?
Yes, Mr. Smith?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Brown Howell, can you hear me?
Yes.
I had a couple questions.
Mr. Smith, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to ask you to speak up so the court reporter can hear. And if everybody can remember, she can only take down one person at a time. So if you'll wait, Ms. Howell, until the defense asks the question, and then defense, if you'll wait till she answers before your next question.
Yes, Your Honor.
I guess the black man standing next to the white man is Mr. Petey.
All right, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Ms. Brown Howell, you're in the medical field, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You were a honorable service discharge from our armed forces,
Yes, sir.
and you have seen situations in your life that are not too pretty, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't know where, I'm sorry, let me back up. I don't know Mr. Peavy, what happened with Mr. Peavy that night. He will be apologizing to you, your brother, and the two other people. He will be speaking. What I want you to know is that I understand your pain. It is a severe trauma.
No, sir, you don't understand it.
Well, ma'am, I do understand it. I've been through it too. So I understand. And I honor you for coming forward and having the opportunity and the voice to speak.
I'm not going to be a victim anymore.
And that's the appropriate response. So I'm going to let Mr. Peavy do the talking when it comes his turn.
All right, any other questions for this witness?
No, Judge. May she be excused?
Yes. State, do you have any more witnesses?
No, Judge. State rest.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Peavy, you heard the two witnesses. Did you not?
Yes, I did.
And tell me how that affected you.
I can't believe I did something like that. Honestly, that's not in my character. And like I said, I changed a lot, and I apologize for that. If you look back, you'll never see anything like that. And I know he said that people who drive drunk and have done it 85 times more. In my case, that's not the truth. Like I said, I made a mistake that night of I don't know what. You know, and I can't never take that back from them. To have somebody think that they got to be afraid of me, that's not me. That is not me. And if they ask anybody that knows me, they'll tell you he's probably the last person in the world you ever got to be afraid of. That's the part I can't deal with right there. That somebody's out there that's afraid not change their lives. I ask you to forgive me, but if you don't want to, I understand completely. I understand totally, because I did something that night that and to be honest with you, this is the first time I heard about what I did. And I'm ashamed of myself for that. So, like I said, there's no way in the world that you have to fear me about anything. And I apologize and I accept responsibility for everything that I did.
Mr. Peavy, would you give the court a brief background of your history?
Ex-military, served, ex-postal worker, served, worked in the churches. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. And pretty much, like I said, I've always tried to give back. I don't understand me at this time. You know, you can go back and see where I've worked here doing this. I do food, backpack drives. I do food services for the homeless. I do everything. I don't know what happened that night. I just do not know.
Do you have any recollection?
And that's the sad part. I don't remember even doing it. And when he told me just listening to him about what I did, good God, I can see why you wouldn't forgive me. And it's hard for you. The one thing that I regret is that you have to live with that. And I will always regret that. You know, it's hard for you. I don't have a recollection of it, so it's easier for me, but it's really hard for you because you got to live it for the rest of your life. I understand that, and I'm sorry for it. So like I said, I understand if you don't forgive me, and I wouldn't blame you.
Do you accept responsibility for what happened?
I accept responsibility for it.
In fact, did you instruct your attorney, that's me, not to file any motions to challenge this?
Yeah, I didn't file a challenge anything.
And could you tell us about your family life, siblings, children?
I have 13 children. I got benign natural three stepkids.
damn.
I have a 10-year-old at home. I have a 15-year-old at home, a 13-year-old, and a 19-year-old.
You said 10
And
seconds.
only thing I do normally is, like I said, take them to school, pick them up, help them with their homework. That night I went out, I don't even know why I went out. I just went out. And then, like I said, I don't remember anything about that night. So that's pretty much my day. That and talking to my neighbors, that's it.
Mr. Peavy, during the almost year and a half or 2 years from the time of the incident, did you attempt to retaliate or contact the 4 individuals?
No, I didn't even, I didn't try and contact them. I didn't try to read anything or do anything because I was told not to get in contact with them. And I didn't understand what was going on at the time. But I didn't try to touch, call them, anything. When the lawyers called me and told me that they were trying to settle everything with them, that they would do it. So they said, don't accept any paperwork or anything from them. Let us handle it. So I did, but I told them to make sure that they handle everything.
Mr. Peavy, to your knowledge, have all the obligations been met by the insurance company?
Yes, they sent by the vehicle. They sent that they were handling everything, and I shouldn't talk to anybody about it. So they said that they were covering different things and all of that, and they had made them an offer to settle and all kinds of things.
Without going into that, is there anything else you could do to make the physical damages whole?
If I could make more restitution, I could.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
want them to be afraid of me. That's the last thing I want. I would never. I don't want anybody being afraid of me.
Mr. Peavy, it's been about 27 or 28 years since any prior incident. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us what you've learned in those 28 years.
That, like I said, sometimes it's best to just step away. So I step away a lot of times. And like I said, it makes you feel like when you step away, sometimes it don't make you feel all that great, but you know it's better to just step away. And people know I will walk away in a heartbeat.
What do you mean by the term step away?
That means walk, turn around. If anything's going on, I got this thing that says, just apologize, I'm sorry I offended you, and just walk away.
Mr. Peavy, have you got any diagnosis from the Veterans Authority, Veterans Affairs?
Such as health and all that.
Yes.
PTSD, I have chronic heart disease, like I said, and diabetic, sleep apnea, you name it, I got all of that.
You got all of that
And,
and you drinking your life away.
Sometimes I'm on heart medication right now. And then sometimes if it dips too low, I have to go on a defibrillator.
Mr. Peavy, what do you think your punishment should be and why?
Whatever the judge thinks, I don't know. Man, I'm listening to that, I don't know. You know, I don't know, honestly, because that's horrible. You know, I know they say one is worse than the other one. At this point, I just listening to that, I wish I could take it all back. That's what I wish I could do. I wish I could undo that night. I really wish I could undo that night if I left it alone.
Can you tell me why you have no family members today in the courtroom?
Because I'm ashamed and I don't want them to be here to see this. No, I didn't look at any of that. Like I said, I'm guilty. I don't want to look at it because I'm embarrassed enough as is it is even happening.
So if I were to tell you that at the time of the offense, you tried to put it on the victims in this case, and you said that they were the ones chasing you, would you disagree with that?
I don't even remember giving statements.
Okay. Do you remember what Mr. King testified to, that at the time that you were arrested, you said you were excited to go to jail?
Like I said, that's why I said I don't remember anything. I don't remember that night at all. That's the sad part. And I can sit there and you can whatever, but I don't remember that night. That's what kills me the most. I don't remember. I don't remember anything.
Okay.
I remember
Thank you,
waiting
Mr. Peavy.
until that was it.
All right. Any other witnesses from either side?
No, Judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is finding previously found there was sufficient evidence of guilt. The court is going to deny the application. The court will find the defendant guilty. The court will sentence the defendant to 6 years in the prison. Give him credit for any time served. There should be no contact with Ronald King, Regina King, Tyra Brown Howell, and Denise Connor. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Peavy, I'm showing you a document. She's going to say some words to you. Internalize what she's saying, okay?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Howell, let me find you.
Child.
All right, Ms. Howell, you may proceed.
Mr. Peavy, this is what I'm going to say to you. I teach my children every day to use your head for more than a hat rack, to
Ooh.
think about the things you do before you do them, because everybody has a choice in the things that they do. If we did not use our choices, this would be a horrible world. But I teach my sons, own up to what you do, because every action has a reaction. And most of the time it's your choice, whether it's good or bad. Now, I walk around here and I'm scared because I don't know you. If I saw you, I don't know you. I work at the VA. You could come up here and get me. I wouldn't know you from a hill of beans. But what I'm going to tell you is this, because God says that we should love and we should forgive. I can love you and I can forgive you, but I will never, ever, ever forget the fear you have caused me. I have a grandchild coming in August that I may not have been here to see. I have a grandchild coming in August that I may not even be able to pick up because my back and my neck hurt me so bad. And for you to want to, or your lawyer, let me say that, to want to use PTSD as your excuse and your medical conditions, guess what? I have PTSD, I have heart problems, I have diabetes, I have back problems, I have neck problems, I have glaucoma, I have so many medical conditions right now. I made the choice to go out, but I didn't drink. And for you to say it took you 6 months to get medication, no, sir. Because you are in the government system, you know you can go to the ED and get a prescription long enough to last you until you get your primary care. You know that, and I know that. So I can't accept that excuse. So excuse me if I say, I hope they put you in jail so far up under the jail that your bones don't get a chance to disintegrate.
Ooh.
Because you have changed my life forever.
All right, thank you, Ms. Howell.
I mean, that was a read.
All right, Mr. Peavy, good luck to you, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you take my keys off?
All right, Dan Rodriguez, where are you?
Okay, so he is finna go to prison because he said, "Do I need to take my keys out of my pocket?" Now, see, my question is this: how much time has he already served? That, you know, is he gonna be there for 5 years? He has to willingly go and do his time, baby. What a fucking girl! That's crazy. That lady said, "Use your head for more than a damn hat rack." Okay, think about your damn choices. Miss Ma'am ate down when she gave him that speech, and I'm so here for it. Ate all the way down. Okay, that lady said, I hope they put you so far into the jail or up under it that your bones don't get a chance to disintegrate. Do you hear me? Oh shit. Okay, and I know it's a very serious matter, but Miss Ma'am ate the fuck down on that one, okay? You guys leave your thoughts and comments down below. That's thoroughly disappointing that she even had to give this speech to this big, thick, grown-ass man anyway, okay? That's all I got for you guys at this time. I am Jami, that's me. Be sure to like up the video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, as well as Blue Sky, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden, they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be